All right, folks, Golden Globes are happening right now. So here's what I'm planning on doing. After every award or every 2 or 3 movie-related awards, I'm coming back here, doing my reaction. At the end, we'll talk about TV awards. I have no clue what's going to happen. Also, there's a football game on that I'm watching, so sorry. Okay, Best Supporting Actress, our winner was Zoe Saldana. Look, we talked about the possibility of Ariana Grande and Zoe winning. Zoe has been the favorite, and I think a lot of that has to do with the amount of awards that Emilia Perez was nominated for tonight. But Zoe getting the first victory is starting to scare me. I'm starting to think Emilia Perez could be in for a really good night. Nothing against Saldana. I thought she was excellent in a movie that I'm just not a big fan of. You all know that. I was rooting for Ariana Grande. I was rooting for Wicked to do a little something tonight. This was probably the only category it was going to do something in other than cinematic achievement, which it'll probably win. But yeah, so I'm 0 for 1, and I think that's going to be a trend tonight because this is the most outlandish Golden Globes I've ever seen. Now I'm going to go watch the next one. All right, supporting male actor. This was easy peasy lemon squeezy. Kieran Culkin takes it home. And I said in my predictions video, I'll say it here, this is kind of like a Divine Joy Randolph situation where he's taken most of these major awards, that's confusing the way I said that, home. I'm happy for him. I thought he was great in a Real Pain, a movie that I liked, but his performance was definitely the best aspect. And I'm kind of waiting to see what happens with Eisenberg. Now, I'm thinking it's going to be Hugh Grant. If not Hugh Grant, someone other than Jesse Eisenberg. I know Eisenberg is the clear favorite right now with the betting markets, but I'm looking at a movie like A Real Pain. I don't think it takes home more than 1 award tonight, so we'll see what happens. Culkin was pretty obvious, 1 for 2. This is probably the best I'll be all night. All right, first of all, shout out to Shogun, Baby Reindeer, a couple of TV shows that I was a huge fan of, taking home awards. How about Best Screenplay, and how about your boy over here? Calling it for Conclave. If you win on Kalshi, a 9% chance, which means I probably could have done very well if I actually would have put my money where my mouth was, but I didn't because, what
is wrong with you?
Look, I just had a feeling. I had a feeling it was going to Conclave. Some people were saying The Brutalist, some people were saying this and that, but I'm sitting here going, why not Conclave? Anora was the massive frontrunner, okay? Major frontrunner. It's actually kind of scaring me now that I'm putting 2 and 2 together. Okay, Anora doesn't get the thing that it was probably favored most for. Actually, that's probably Mikey Madison. I'm talking in real time here. But Conclave, I guessed it. I predicted it. Didn't put my money where my mouth was, so I'm stupid. But Conclave, this is a big deal. Now, I'm not going to look at The Brutalist and say, oh no, The Brutalist is in trouble, because I thought it would go to Conclave. If it was going to take anything home tonight, it's this. So I see this as Conclave's only win for the night. So a real pain, Conclave, the only awards these movies are going to win. Let's see what happens. Holy smokes, people! First of all, congratulations to Colin Farrell on The Penguin. Great job, buddy. And then Emilia Perez won non-English language. I figured I didn't have to come in here for that because that was really obvious. What? Demi Moore? What? Over Mikey Madison? Now, we talked about this. This was a part of the discussion. I had Demi Moore higher than a lot of people, especially higher than the betting odds, which had her fairly low. But I'm sitting here going, Mikey Madison's won everything. Look at that picture of her with all the ratings and the stars and the awards wins. She's won everything. But again, the Golden Globes is our first peek into an awards body that isn't solely or mostly critics. The Golden Globes, the voters, and they've added a lot of new voters over the last couple of years, this is kind of closer, I feel, now to what the industry is saying. And Anora not winning this, and not winning Screenplay, I'm a little nervous that Anora is not going to win Best Picture, Musical, or Comedy. I'm starting to think it's either going to be The Substance or Emilia Perez. We got to look at the trends as the night's going on. And I said in a video today, in my predictions video, I did a separate video for someone else, I said, you gotta look at Emilia Perez and take it seriously. You just do. And in my predictions video, I said the same thing about The Substance. You gotta look at The Substance and take it seriously. I'm starting to think Anora is not going to take anything home tonight. I know that's crazy this early in the competition or the night, whatever you want to call it. Demi Moore is huge. First of all, I'm happy. I thought she was amazing in The Substance. And I'm happy she's getting a win because Mikey Madison, it was looking like she was going to sweep. But this win for Demi Moore, it's a two-horse race now, folks. It is no longer just Mikey Madison or bust. It is Mikey Madison, and Moore is right there with her. Also, I love The Substance. So this is great. It's a win-win, sort of loss, but kind of win. First of all, there is a lot of snow and sleet and freezing rain outside, so there's a lot going on outside of this, and that's why I'm a little sweaty. Okay, I had to go outside and shovel the snow. There's a lot going on. But Sebastian Stan for a different man? Did we just find the guy coming into the fifth slot? Because we're kind of thinking for the Oscars, who's going to be in that fifth slot? Sebastian Stan, double nomination and a win. What the heck happened to Jesse Eisenberg? Who, again, I didn't think he was going to win it regardless. But this guy is a clear favorite over on Kalshi, a clear favorite in the betting odds and in the ranks, and people have nothing for Eisenberg. Look, a real pain. Good job with the movie, but I didn't think that was happening. Now, the guy who I picked, Hugh Grant, he had a good shot for that fifth spot, and now I don't think he does. And Sebastian Stan was really far down the predictions markets. Where he was a double nominee, we kept saying, double nominee, not going to win, double nominee, not going to win. Sebastian Stan takes it home. This is huge, man. This night is not going how I expected. Anora getting shut out. Sebastian Stan taking home a win. The Substance is alive. Let's see who else is alive. I'm waiting on some good things to start happening for the Brutalist. And there she is, folks. Brady Corbet, the Brutalist. Absolutely astounding win. And frankly, and look, you guys know I'm a big Denis Villeneuve fan. Didn't matter tonight, obviously, but Brady Corbet, the Brutalist. This is a phenomenal, and I know a lot of you all haven't seen it, the expansion. What are they doing with theaters? I think that could hinder its Oscar run in the long term. But right now, I'm looking at this win that I thought the Brutalist needed to get to have a good night tonight, but also kind of put it on a trajectory towards the Oscar, because whether you like it or not, Anora is no longer the front runner. Now, I think it's going to do well at the Critics' Choice Awards next weekend because it's done well with critics along the way, but these actual industry voters, these awards bodies that aren't just critics, right now it's not looking like they're like an Anora, and so Brady Corbet taking this home kind of starts to take us in that Brutalist direction. I love to see it. I think this is a magnificent film, and frankly, I'm really happy with this. Also, Best Animated Film, we got to talk about that. Flo, what, the Wild Robot? Look, Flo is a good movie. Don't get me wrong. And Flo has done really well with critics' bodies, but this is one of those that's done well with critics' bodies and now is doing well with, is Flo the new favorite? I'm not going to say this based solely off the Golden Globes, but it's an indie movie. I think they said the first ever indie animated film to win a Golden Globe. That's a big deal. All right, we'll start with Best Song, El Mal. I believe that's the one is that the one I chose? I don't even remember my prediction. This is kind of off the top of my head. But I also chose The Brutalist for score. And The Brutalist didn't take home score. They gave it to challengers. They are really spreading the love at the Golden Globes tonight. To be honest, I kind of like that they're spreading the love. This is nice. Challengers is an amazing score. Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross, one of the best scores of the year. I know a couple of people who absolutely despise the score for Challengers, but it was a bop. Is that what the kids say? A bop? It was a vibe. Daddy vibed with it, and I absolutely loved it. So I'm really happy with this. I know it's not one that I picked. I think I gave it the second best chance, only because Hans Zimmer isn't getting an Oscar nomination. Therefore, you got to talk about the ones that are getting an Oscar nomination, maybe a little bit more than that, but I'm happy with this. Challengers, one of the best scores of the year, my number 2 movie of the year. I'm happy. Did I just refer to myself as Daddy? I'm not Daddy. Cinematic and box office achievement, Wicked, which is kind of funny to me because it's like, Inside Out 2 made the most money this year. Deadpool Wolverine broke box office records. Wicked did well at the box office. So are they just picking the best movie that they think is an achievement, even though it wasn't the one that did the best? I mean, it's Wicked. Look, I'm happy Wicked brought something home, to be honest with you, because I like this movie quite a bit. But it's this whole category is just kind of stupid for me. Also, I watched a couple more. Shout out to Baby Reindeer for being an awesome series. You all know, if you saw my Netflix ranked list, how high that rated for me, as well as Hacks, which is a show that I've heard really good things about, haven't watched. And man, what about Shogun continuing to get love in the acting categories across the board? Best drama series. Shogun's outstanding. I may or may not be ranking my best TV shows here in a couple of days, so stay tuned for that. Shout out to me for ranking things. Good job, Austin. I am daddy. Okay. Female actor, motion picture drama. I went against my gut, and I went with what I thought was obvious for someone who no longer has an Oscar nomination locked up. Angelina Jolie, for a while there, I'm like, she's probably in that third or fourth spot, man. She's right there. I don't know if she is. Fernanda Torres, I'm still here. And you know what? The more I think about this, the more I'm really happy about it. She does give one of the best performances of the year. I'm Still Here is a beautiful movie. I only watched it because it was one of the movies that I could have voted on for Critics' Choice. I'm like, I got to watch all the movies I possibly can to make sure I'm in the loop and I did. And I'm so happy and I'm so grateful for that opportunity, for that screener that Critics' Choice sent me, man. It's a beautiful movie. She gives a beautiful performance. Angelina Jolie is in big trouble. Massive trouble. And Fernanda Torres, she is here. She is still here. Because that's the name of the movie. Brutalist sweep. I need a broom. My broom's outside because I was brooming snow. Brutalist sweep. Let's freaking go, baby. Look, again, I know a lot of you haven't seen this movie, so you're like, Austin, you're talking about this thing that none of us have seen, and I get it. I understand that. But please, if this video does anything for you, one, it should absolutely require you to call me daddy from now on. Don't ever do it. Look, I'm hyped up. It's a full day of football, pain and suffering with my Steelers, and now I'm here, and there's 8 inches of snow outside with ice layered on top. Like, what the hell is going on? This, like, partially hurts, because I thought Timothée Chalamet gave a great performance in, what's it called? A Complete Unknown. He was really good, right? But Adrien Brody, man, this is one of those times where it's going to be one or the other, and I'm going to be sad regardless of what happens, because I do think they both give great performances. And Timothée Chalamet seems like just a cool dude. Like, he was picking sports games, and he's given hilarious interviews. It's like, I want to hang out with that guy. Hopefully I get to a Critics' Choice. I don't know. He's probably going to think I'm weird. I don't blame him. But Adrien Brody, this is a magnificent performance. This is like everything you have wanted from him for the last how many years since The Pianist. Amazing. Just absolutely amazing across the board. He's emotional. He's vulnerable. He's every word you want to throw at him in The Brutalist. So I think he deserves it. And I think this kind of fast tracks him to being the guy who's the guy to beat at this point. You know, I was saying it was 50-50. It all came down to the Golden Globes. We'll see what happens at Critics' Choice next week. But right now, Adrien Brody is the guy to beat, and I think he's the front runner. Well. The Brutalist is having himself or itself a night, and Austin could not be happier. I do believe The Brutalist is now the front runner for Best Picture. Austin, but the Golden Globes? Look, I understand that 3 or 4 years ago, right? But the voting body has expanded. Things have changed. Right? And a movie not winning anything at the Globes rarely goes on to win Best Picture. Anora was that front runner, didn't win anything, not screenplay, not actress, not Best Picture. And look, I love Anora. It was one of my top 15 movies of last year. But I love The Brutalist more, and I thought The Brutalist for quite some time. And you saw my Best Picture predictions about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I had The Brutalist at number 1. I had Anora at 2, and people were giving me flack for that. They're like, Austin, what are you doing? Anora's the clear front runner. And I'm like, yeah, it feels like it's peaking a little too early, to be honest with you. And I think that may have been the case, because right now it's looking like The Brutalist. Now, here's my fear. You ready? My fear is that something that's about to happen is going to happen, and that's scary, and that's Emilia Perez wins musical comedy instead of Anora, which looks likely to happen. My hope is that The Substance comes out swinging and beats it. But my fear is that Emilia Perez wins, and I got to start taking that movie more seriously, because I've not been taking it seriously. And I have been, but I haven't been. You know what I mean? You ever do something like that? You have, but you haven't. And if it wins, then I really got to start taking it seriously as a contender for Best Picture. Austin, why don't you like Emilia Perez? It's just so tonally messy. It's just a messy movie. And look, a couple of the musical numbers are pretty good, but there's some musical numbers in there. I'm just like, what are we doing? What are we singing about? What are we doing? What are we doing? And I don't know if the industry is just trying to make a statement with Emilia Perez, because it's not a good movie. So I don't know. Like, I don't mind the performances being nominated, but the movie winning, we'll have to see. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going. Bye. Brutalist. Good job. What are we doing? What are we doing? I shouldn't be surprised. I knew this was happening. I knew it was coming. The moment Anora didn't win screenplay, I'm like, Emilia Perez has a good shot. But then Demi Moore won, and I'm like, the Substance, it could be a great night. Emilia Perez wins musical comedy. Look, it's fine. This happens. It happens, guys. It happens. You know, sometimes you just... I just don't want this movie to win Best Picture. And look, I don't... It's not like a bottom 10 movie of the year for me. It's not like that bad. It's just... There's a difference between being a bad movie and then being a bad movie and it getting nominated and winning all of these major awards. Like that, there's a difference. If this wasn't nominated for anything, I'd just forget about it. It's just like, okay, one and done. On Netflix, some good performances. But it's winning. It's winning. How does it win? I don't want people to spin this. I don't want them to think I'm... Look, there's some good things about it, and at least it's different. You know, it's like I got to give it props for being different and just like a tonal disaster, which some people find appealing, I guess. So, Emilia Perez is now an official contender. This is the Golden Globes. Okay, not everything that happens tonight is a precursor, but it's an important factor of being a precursor. It is one of the many things that has to happen for these movies to kind of shoot their way to the top, or these performances to kind of shoot their way to the top. And so good night for The Brutalist, good night for Emilia Perez, good night for Demi Moore, and bad night for Anora. Really bad night. Bad night for Wicked. You know, Wicked's not a movie that I've really brought up that much other than cinematic box office achievement. But bad night for Wicked, and Anora, I'm not going to say Anora is toast. We could see a big turnaround, and maybe the Globes are the outlier. That's what I'm holding on to here. That's what I'm holding on to, Anora. But great job, The Brutalist. Great job, Brutalist. This was also an opportunity for Conclave to win some of those awards that The Brutalist won. Didn't do it. So I'm not saying Conclave. I've had The Brutalist at my number one for a while now. I'm sticking to my guns. I'm feeling even better right now than I did, 3 hours ago? I won't lie to you. I flipped back and forth numerous times to watch the Lions just beat the diddly squat out of the Vikings. And I won none of my bets. So, thanks, crippling gambling addiction. Why don't I bet on this stuff? I'm better at this stuff. Jesus. But admittedly, no one knew what was going to happen at tonight's Golden Globes Award. The most unpredictable. The year that I predicted, didn't I predict like Nicole Kidman for something, and it was like nobody expected that? That's how I felt about this Conclave script win. I'm like, I'm feeling pretty good right now. Then all this other stuff happens. I mean, obviously, I predicted a lot of the Brutalist wins, but I'm just like, I don't know what's going to happen anymore. I don't know what life is. Do you know what I'm looking forward to, though? About 50-plus movies, and I just recorded, like, the longest video I've recorded in months talking about my most anticipated movies, and I try to talk about everything and tell you whether I'm excited or not. So tune in tomorrow. Hit the subscription button, subscribes, and come back and hang out with me. And I don't know how my wife's getting to work tomorrow, so good luck, because I'm not driving you. You'll drive yourself. Goodbye.